On today's Toy Spot, we're going to be looking at the Sota Toys Series 2, Now Playing Presents. We're going to be looking at Dr. Peyton Westlake. We're going to be looking at Darkman. How many people out there are fans of Darkman? Oh, me. Yes, for those that remember in the 90s, the classic movie Darkman. We finally received a figure of Darkman from Sota Toys. By the way, if you haven't seen Darkman, I would say get out of the cave that you're living in and definitely want to watch it. Obviously starring Liam Neeson. Great movie. Larry Drake also. Larry Drake. There's very few things I find Larry Drake can't be in, and he doesn't do a great job. I mean, you know, Dr. Giggles, one of my favorite horror movies of all time, and also a Sam Raimi movie, Darkman. Anyways, we'll move that aside. I won't do a review of Darkman. Maybe I'll do that as a separate video. Now Playing Presents Darkman. Series 2, and one thing you'll notice with Sota Toys, they certainly go all out with packaging. I don't even know if you guys can see all of this, but the package is about the size of a loaf of bread. A loaf of bread, or a lunchbox, really. They certainly go all out with packaging. You compare these to some of the NECA figures, the cult classic figures, Movie Maniac figures, of course, as well. A very small clamshell. Usually you just get enough space to put the figure in, and then they've got the side card with the picture. Not Sota Toys, on the other hand. Sota Toys, they go all out. They do go all out. Yeah. I had commented actually that this was Series 2. It is actually Series 1. As you can see on the side, Series 1 characters, and on the other side, Series 2. Look at those certainly on the back as well. On the back of the packaging for the Now Playing Presents, Series 1 consisted of the American Werewolf in London, vampire, zombie, whatever you want to call it. We have the Trauma, Toxic Avenger. Anyone want to watch Toxic Avenger? And finally, Darkman. Which, personally, the only figure really of this wave that it would be worth picking up, and in my opinion at least, is the Darkman figure here. There also was a Tower Records Tattered Bandage Darkman head exclusive, which featured the alternate head, but with the more exposed bandages here. As I mentioned in the beginning of the review, Series 2 actually featured Killer Clowns from Outer Space, included the Creeper from Jeepers Creepers 2, another awesome figure, and it also had the Mummy Returns, which I believe was it Inotep, I think? And down below, it's moviemaniacs.net. I don't believe not necessarily McFarlane Movie Maniacs. That would be a different Movie Maniacs. SotaToys.com. A very large set, a very large package. I am looking forward to getting this guy opened up. A huge fan of Darkman. Let's not wait any longer. Let's get this opened up. Let's look at Dr. Peyton Westlake. We're going to be looking at the Darkman. Stay tuned, guys. So much more to come. I find you always get your money's worth when you buy a Sota toy. They put a lot of emphasis on detail, accessories, everything else. The dioramas as well, I always find to be impressive. You can see the girders and stuff like that from the. I guess it's the end of the movie where he's fighting Durant up at the top there. I think Durant's got like a nail gun or something like that. I'm trying to remember the movie. I really want to go back and re-watch it. I think the last time I've seen a Darkman, I watched Darkman 2. Unfortunately, Darkman 2, Darkman 3, Die, Darkman, Die, and The Return of Durant. Didn't actually have Liam Neeson. It had Arnold Vosloo. I think he still did a pretty good job. But the last Darkman movie I've seen was Darkman 2. But a nice looking diorama. And it's very large peg holes too. That's one thing I like about Sota Toys, is when they give you a diorama or a stand, they give you substantially large peg holes. There's very little opportunity for a figure to move or wobble, because I know sometimes, especially with DC Direct figures, you peg them in, and next thing you know, the figure is kind of leaning off to the side because he's not sitting very well. He's only got one peg, or the pegs are very small. You certainly don't get that with a Sota toy. Very well crafted. Lots of paint, really, too. The paint is a tad sloppy. As you can see here, the gold's carried over from the connectors here. You could kind of argue the point too. It's metal, so okay, yeah, I could have that. But the paint could be a little bit better, but that's not too big of a deal. Looking here at the Darkman figure, very, very well sculpted. The jacket, I think, above all else, has been well recreated from the movie to the figure here. We've got all the dirt, and the sculpt really on it is just so nice and impressive. There's not really a lot going on. I mean, obviously, Darkman doesn't have a superhero costume or anything like that. He just basically wears pants and a red shirt. But the way it was sculpted was done really, really nice. And unfortunately, much like NECA Cult Classics, there's not a load of articulation. It's pretty much pre-posed. You can't do too much with the figure itself. Obviously, if you've watched, you have the poster or the DVD, you can have him kind of reaching out like they do, and then the lights, everything in the background. Actually, you know what? I'll bring back the DVD. As you can see here, you can kind of have him recreate the same scene here. I love that poster. It's still one of my favorite posters from the 90s. In the way of his head sculpt is really, really nice. I can't really say it looks like Liam Neeson because, well, he's pretty bandaged up here. But it definitely does look like Darkman. Now, he does have an alternate head. And actually, we'll get into that in a second, because while I do like the alternate head, the head that he comes with, or the head that he has right now, is really the head that I would have him posed with. He also has his hat, his fedora here, where you can put the hat on. Get it on just right, though, might be a little more of an issue. There we go. Really, that's how I would pose him. I wouldn't put him with the alternate head. You get a nice detail there. The alternate head, however, I'll put it on so you guys can actually see it here. And there we have the alternate head. Very gruesome. Very, very gruesome. Certainly no lips on poor Darkman. So most of the movie you saw him just with his teeth. I will say, kind of, really, from the one side, yeah, it does bear some resemblance to Liam Neeson. All the detailing in the head there. Again, though, I like the head sculpt. Don't get me wrong. They did an incredible job, but you can wear the hat. You can still wear the hat if he wants to go out, get some milk. You can say, hey guys, sorry, I just want to get some milk. But I really would not pose. I would not have him sitting on my shelf with this head. But it is nice that they gave you the head. We'll just put back the better of the two here. He also does come with alternate hands. Now, if you ask some people might say they prefer the gloved hands. If I can get these out without doing anything. I might do this off camera. Hold on a second. Certainly all we need to do is have one of these hands break off. And we'll just get the other hand into place here. There we go. And you can certainly you can have him displayed with the bandaged hands as well, if you'd like to do that. I'm actually trying to make out in the... No, see, even in the poster, he's actually got the bandaged hands. He's not wearing the gloves. So that's probably actually how I would have him sculpted, or have him standing on my shelf, is probably with the wrapped hands. But if you prefer, you know what? He might actually have the gloved hands. I'm trying to look here, but I probably will have him posed with the wrapped hands. That's really just my preference. On the bottom, you'll see that he's got substantially large peg holes in his feet, and you can pose him on the display stand like so. You know what, we'll turn it around here, because I think for how heavy he is, he'll probably stand better on the other way here. Yeah, he'll stand better that way than he will on the other way. It's a bit top heavy, I'm afraid. But there you have Darkman posed. Very, very cool. If you're a fan of Darkman, definitely a figure worth picking up. You can find him on eBay. I found this guy on BigBadToyStore.com. He was there. I think they had him clearanced. But a nice figure to get. And it just goes to show, really, that just because it's not NECA and it's not Movie Maniac, McFarlane Movie Maniac figures, you can still get a really nice looking figure. And Sota, I think, did a great job on this figure. Darkman here, I would give an 8. A nice display piece, and really the gem, I think, of the 3 figures from this series, or from this wave. But an 8 for Darkman, and that was a Toy Spot. Today we were looking at the Sota Toys, the Now Playing Presents. We're looking at Series 1 Darkman. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Stay tuned for more Toy Spots to come, and I'll see you guys next time. Wouldn't you know, I talk so much about the figure itself, I actually forget to mention the articulation. So, figured I'd go back, reshoot this part of the review, and I'll just quickly go over the articulation, because, you know, while he is a statue in some aspects, he still does have articulation. We'll just take the hat off for a second here. The head is a ball-jointed head, and certainly will allow you to get the head off pretty easily to put the alternate head on. The shoulders are ball jointed, so you actually get the arms to move in and out quite easily. The arm can also rotate. The hand can rotate. You can't really bend it in or out or anything like that, but you can rotate the wrist. You can rotate the waist. And lastly, you can rotate the feet. The legs, really, you can't do anything. The legs are pre-sculpted. But again, if you're going to put it on the display stand, whether you want to put it, you know, with him standing in front of the beam, or you want to have the beam in front of him, you really don't necessarily need articulation in the legs. This is a figure more for posing than really for anything dynamic. I mean, certainly, you know, he's pretty dynamic as on his own. But I figured I'd throw that in there. No doubt when I was going back and looking at the video, I'm like, oh man, I forgot the articulation. So, still a great figure to get. One of the best, I think, from the first wave. We were looking again at Darkman, and I'll see you guys later.